Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We're looking at another WE knife right here. We're going to unbox this or unpouch this. It comes in a box too, but I've had this for a few days. Just haven't had a chance to make a video on it yet. So, let's pull it out. I love the casing. Is it caught on? There we go. I love the case they give you, excuse me. It's got double felt lined like pouches. It's like good for two knives. It's great for traveling if you're carrying a couple knives with you. WE knife cloth, their little tool for their proprietary hardware, which I don't have a problem them doing proprietary hardware as long as they provide a tool. Microtech, sorry. Strider, sorry. Hinderer, sorry. Sorry, I was getting like a cough this morning. It's weird. Anywho, just messing around. So let's look at this beautiful WE knife, the 618. This is the 618D, I want to say. Yes, 618D with the gray titanium and satin finish blade. Look at that, beautiful. Doesn't want to sit that way knife. Use my little knife stand then, if you're going to be that way. Bam, there you go. So let's talk about the specs while you guys glare at that beautiful knife there. So this one has, like I said, great titanium handle, the satin finish blade made of Böhler M390 steel with ceramic ball bearings, which is awesome. Does have a steel reinforced lock bar. Your overall length is 8.625 inches, blade length 3.875, so almost 4 inches of blade. They run their M390 about 59 to 61. You have a flat ground blade with, again, a satin finish and a handle length of 4.75 inches. Your handle thickness is 0.5, and so it's pretty thin. And weighs in at only 3.05 ounces, guys. That's one of the most remarkable things about this knife, is it's a big blade. I mean, you're talking nearly 4 inches of cutting, 3.875, and it only weighs just over 3 ounces. Now I'm going to verify that weight on my scale here for you. Ha! 2.9 on my scale. It's even lighter than they said. So you're talking a 3-ounce knife that has a nearly 4-inch blade, and it's made of titanium. That's pretty remarkable. So they do that obviously because this is a very slender, slim knife. It's not, you know, wide in the handle or anything. That's why they can. And the blade to handle ratio is nearly perfect. I mean, it is perfect. You can't get any more blade in there, otherwise you'd be catching your thumb on it. So, or your finger. It's perfect blade to handle ratio. I love the Kwaiken style design where the blade sits pretty much entirely in the handle. I love that sleek design. That's one of my favorite type designs. Another company that does that pretty well. This is the Insingo blade on the Sebenza, but most of that blade is going to be in that handle. And the Benchmade 940 Cabela's version, kind of similar how most of the handle. And I use these knives too because these are more gentleman folders, and that's kind of what they were going for in this. I believe they even market it as a tactical gentleman's folder, which is kind of funny. It's definitely got a big blade, and it deploys quickly. That's actually one of my gripes of the knife, and I'll get back to you on that one. So, but overall, a very gorgeous, very smooth. Those ceramic bearings are awesome. Milled titanium pocket clip. I just watched Epic Snuggle Bunny's review, and he mentioned that the clip didn't go all the way in his jeans. I didn't have that issue, so you probably do have thicker jeans, Austin, is what he said in his video. I haven't had that problem, but again, this is kind of a knife to be worn in slacks or a suit, you know, something of that kind of a higher class EDC knife. Again, very, very exceptional milling on the titanium by WE. As you can see here, I love how the hardware on this particular model is just a more classy looking model. A lot of their models have, you know, those hints of purple and different colors, which I like, but at the same time, this really spoke to me. It's got kind of a really heavy stonewashing finish there, and this is not integral, by the way. It is 2 pieces of titanium, but you wouldn't even know. I mean, it's pretty seamless, guys. You from a glance, you'd be like, "Ooh, that's an integral. That's nice." It's not, but it looks like one, and it's very well executed how it's put together. So, because I mean, honestly, all you have are these 2 screws here, and then your pivot. Look at that. You don't even see screws on this side. Very seamless. Just an excellent design. Gotta hand it to WE guys. They're not collaborating with, well, they are collaborating with some makers, but a lot of their designs are in-house designs, and they have some pretty well thought out designs. Just really well executed. So, very smooth action. Love the satin finish on this blade, and what I love how they do that reinforced tip. I kind of wanted the one with the DLC coating or PVD. I can't remember which one they used. You know, it's black and it has that tip like that. It looks really good, but I got a pretty good deal on this one, brand new from V Knives. If you're not on Instagram, look up V Knives. He was, I believe, the first American distributor for WE Knives. So, gave me a pretty good price on this one, and I wanted one. I held one at Blade HQ, and almost bought it that day. Glad I waited because I did save a little bit of money. The MSRP, or not the MSRP, the price on these is going to be $295 at most dealers. Again, got a little bit better deal than that on this one. So, with the value, you know, is it a good value? I think so. You get titanium, nice milling, M390 steel. You get a lot of blade in this, you know, on nearly 4 inches of blade. So you know, it's very reasonably priced, very similar price to WE. They kind of have a model they stick with most of their knives. They do have a new budget line that they've done a couple models with. If you want to check out a WE and don't want to spend, you know, $250, $300, you can get one for about $118. It's going to be G10 D2 steel, but overall, I think they're, you know, reasonably priced for what they are. They're definitely on the higher end of things. But they're exceptionally well made. All the WE knives, this is my third one, have been very well made and have had great fit and finish, great actions. Just there's nothing really too negative that I could say about this knife. Again, the ergonomics are good. It's kind of a straight handle, so there's really no way to go wrong with ergonomics on this, because it's not gonna like blow you away like, man, that's the most ergonomic knife I've ever felt. No, it's not gonna do that. But it's also gonna fit pretty much every hand type, because doesn't have finger grooves that don't work for every size of hand and those kind of things. It is very slender and slim in the hand, and it carries really nicely. You got, you know, a little bit of clip hanging out, or a little bit of knife, enough to grab the knife. So it's not deep carry, but it's pretty close. I like it. I think it works really well. And again, the action is just stupid smooth on those ceramic bearings. If I don't get my finger out of the way, it's probably gonna get me. So, great fit and finish, great materials. Gonna be a really good slicer, cutter with that flat ground blade. I could see this. You know, it's marketed as a gentleman's folder, but that blade is a little big for that. Most gentleman's folders are gonna be sub 3 inches, I would think, and you're getting close to the 4-inch line. So, but just a good overall EDC knife. Now, that blade is pretty slender and slim too. It's not, you know, terribly thick at the spine. Let's go ahead and do some measurements here on that. What are we looking at? 0.152 inches at the spine. That's actually probably, and it definitely tapers into a nice point, as you can see here. That reinforced tip. Alright, sorry about that, guys. A little hiccup. So, again, it's not too terribly thick of a blade. Gonna be a good slicer, good general EDC use, good for food as well. If you're using this to cut up apples, your food, good steak knife. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could use this. Can you imagine being at a nice formal restaurant and having your suit on and then whipping out this blade, cutting up your steak with it? Pretty bad, really. So again, value, it's, you know, it's expensive. It's not an inexpensive knife, but you're also getting premium materials and premium design. So you know, to me, it's right where it needs to be at. I would like to see it a little cheaper, but you know, that's not necessarily reality. So good office carry and slacks, good you know, suit carry, gentleman's folder, but also just a good overall EDC knife. You know, pretty good sized blade. I like knives like this that are slender and slim, but give you a good blade shape, or a good blade size. Let's do some size comparisons here. Here is a Microtech Ultratech. You can see very similar size handle there for those two. And I've got a monstrous knife here, just to show you the size. Cold Steel Talwar. Now the Talwar has a 4-inch blade, and the Wii has just shy of 4. But look at the size difference to those two knives, as far as how slender and sleek it is, and how lightweight it is. So, I know, kind of a funny comparison. Sorry, I bumped my tripod like the 100th time. The Benchmade 940, 940 dash, tons of numbers. Cabela's exclusive, is a gentleman style folder as well that I carry a lot in a suit or at church. My most carried knife, period, but as well as a gentleman style folder that I carry in a suit is my Sebenza micarta small 21 in Singo, and it's quite a bit bigger blade, but the Sebenza weighs about the same as, in fact, let's see, the Benchmade weighs 2.4 ounces, so it's a little bit lighter, and the Seb is 2.7, so it is these two are a titch lighter, but look how much bigger you get on your blade. A lot more blade, a lot more handle, about the same weight. So it's pretty remarkable what they've done with titanium. And you can see there's quite a bit of milling in the titanium. Those holes to lighten it up. They're not terribly thick slabs of titanium either, but it's really not designed to be, you know, a thick, heavy use knife. So, but a good overall general EDC knife. So, only negatives I have to say about it is, being that it's like marketed kind of as a gentleman's folder, it's not, you can't really slowly open the knife. I mean, you have to kind of break that detent, then you can do that, but half the time you end up flicking it out because this thumb stud design is great. Very, very tall and raised thumb stud, as you can see there. I mean, look how it sits up against the frame. It's actually, it's not flush, it's a little higher, which is good, needs to be. And there's that nice recess right here to use it to open it. But again, the detent is strong because it's on bearings that you can't, it's very hard to, there we go, and you can do that. But a lot of times when you're breaking that detent, you're going to flick that knife out. So it's definitely got a great action and a great, it flicks out. That thumb stud is well designed. The detent is just a little strong. Now that might vary from knife to knife. That tends to be the case. If they would have used washers, I think you could have still flicked it easily, but had a slower opening if you wanted to. So that's not a big deal. That's not a hey, don't buy this knife kind of thing. That's just my impression of it. The thumb stud is also pretty aggressive. It's got their proprietary, you know, star looking thing that they have on all their hardware, but it's not sharp, but you feel it in your thumb. And if you flick this open and play with it a lot, you'll have a nice you'll have a good callus on your thumb like that, or you'll notice it. Again, not a deal breaker. I'm just looking for something about this knife that, you know, it's not perfect. No knife really is, but those aren't big deals. You can see the small amount of jimping up here as well that I forgot to cover. Aren't big deals. It's a very cool knife, very smooth, very nice, and a nice EDC. You know, not just a gentleman's folder. You could use it for whatever, but you get a lot of blades. So you guys like to carry bigger blades. You have, you know, nearly 4 inches there. So that's going to wrap up my initial impressions on the Wii 618D. Any questions or comments? Let's leave them down below, and we'll see you in the next video.